We've all had trailer loading problems at some point in our life. Stick around, I'm going to show you guys how I get it done when I'm by myself. And stay till the end because I've got some bonus footage of this guy at the vet when he got castrated today. Well, looky who has an appointment to go get castrated today. Well, this was actually last week, and I thought, you know what, this is going to make one heck of a good video because I have not tried to practice loading this colt in the trailer, not once. And given all of our other videos and sessions we've had with him, he obviously isn't the most compliant, reasonable individual. So I knew this was going to make for a good video. I set up my pivo and I went to work. And we're going to get this done in under 10 minutes. Now, you'll see some snowflakes coming through the video occasionally. It was trying real hard to snow on us. I start out just kind of trying to show him the trailer. Sometimes you can show these guys the trailer and they'll go right in and they'll surprise the heck out of you. I do have another 2-year-old already up in the trailer loaded. Sometimes it helps to have a horse in the trailer. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes that horse that's already in the trailer will make some noises and it scares them, and then you won't get the other one in no matter what you try. So the very first thing I'm going to do is try this kind of old-timer trick here. What I'm going to do is wrap my lunge line around his girth area there, run it up through his front legs, and try to get him to give the pressure that way. I have found that this is one way that really works for me when I'm trying to teach a horse to lead. Rather than doing the rope behind the butt, I can put it around the girth area like that. And if a horse wants to sit back and I have them tied, they usually are not as likely to aggressively sit back on me when I have them tied like that. It was something an old man showed me, probably 6-7 years back, and it worked really well on a couple big 2-3-year-old studs that I was working on, and I could lead them from point A to point B when I put this little concoction on them. Now, that lunge line is like a 25-foot rope. The other lead rope that I have on him is a 16-foot rope. And he's got a rope halter on, and I've got a heavy-duty Klein snap on the lead ropes and the lunge line. And he wasn't really coming good for me with it around the front girth area, so I'm going to put it back in the flank area. And he's never had anything back there before either, so he's getting a good desensitization right now, isn't he? And it's helping pull him forward just a little bit, and I'm getting him a little bit closer. I try really hard to kind of give and take. You know, when he gives forward, I release. You see right there, my lines go slack, and I'm pulling more on that rope that's around his flank area than I am the halter here, okay? And when he pulls back on me, I really pull back on him. And, you know, it's a muscle match with him. It's a battle of wills, and I'm going to be outweighted here in just a second. I'm not going to have enough. What I like to say is I don't have enough butt behind me to really sit into these ropes and pull this guy in if I need to. My helper had to run out of town real quick, and so I didn't have anybody to help me do this. And this is how I get it done when I'm by myself, you guys. This is what I have to do when I'm on my own, and I do this with little guys. I do it with great big ones. This is how I'm getting it done. He's clearly not going to go in for me doing it this way, but one thing that I do know is that this guy ties, and if you have one that ties, you can get even more down and dirty with the trailer loading. And what I do is I take the rope that's attached to the halter, and here in a second I'm going to tie it up to the inside of the trailer. I finally quit screwing around with him, and he's just obviously not going to get up there for me. He's not going to take a step in. He's shown us enough times that he's not super reasonable, and he always takes a lot of talking into to get him to do anything. Something else I will tell you too is one of the reasons these horses don't want to come into the trailer when you're up there like that is because this guy, he's already shown he really doesn't care if he's my friend or not, and he doesn't really care if he's up next to me or not. And so, of course, he's not going to come into the trailer when I'm up in there. And so what I do is I go ahead and tie him up to the inside, and I'm going to grab, and I checked my Pivo to make sure it was still recording, and that's what the little glitch was there. And I go ahead and grab my flag out of the trailer, and he's tied up in there. And now I tied him to the right side and not the left side, because on the left side I've got a latch there that the swinging door, the trailer handle, swings and connects to. And I'm just kind of crossing my fingers that he doesn't jump into this, okay? They're all capable of killing themselves and hanging themselves and slamming their chest into this. I'm just kind of crossing my fingers this guy makes good choices. He has two choices at this point, to be good or to be really good. And I'm very methodically just tap, 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 and just kind of being a nuisance to him when I'm, just trying to help him find the hole on that door. Just tap, tap, tap. Have to be super, super consistent, make it really uncomfortable for him on the outside. And, he's going to go back and forth. And I swear, you guys, this is how I do it when I'm by myself, when I don't have any help. He's just kind of frozen now. So now I'm going to get a lot more aggressive with my tapping with the flag. And as soon as he takes a step forward, I'll quit for a second. But he won't take a step forward. He just wants to go back and forth. And so I'm making it really, really uncomfortable for him. And I don't recommend you guys doing this if you don't have really good quality equipment. I am really, really tough on my equipment. The person that makes my ropes for me, my halters for me, her name's Keitha Arthur, Handcrafted Jewels, shameless plug there. She knows what I'm doing to my equipment. I have put it through the ringer. I have tested her stuff for the last 10 years, and I know it works. If I didn't trust her equipment, I wouldn't do this with the horse, because I know this stuff's not going to break. If this stuff broke on me, I would really be screwed, because this colt would get away with this behavior. And I just have to keep on being aggressive with him. He took that little step forward, and I quit for a second. I go back to tapping him lightly again. Just stay consistent. You got to be consistent with the tapping. Look, we got a little step forward, and you can't see, but he put his head down and he sniffed the inside of the trailer. Like, oh, it's not so bad. You have to know when the release is. They learn when you release, okay? Keep on tapping. Release, you got a little step forward. Tap again. And he's thinking about it. We got half a step up in there. And he's got slack in his rope too. So that's what's really cool. When he gave to pressure, he's getting the release on the front end also. And, because he really doesn't want to be around me, his better option is to go in there. We got the front end, and he backs out again. We just stay consistent with the tapping. Don't quit. Stay consistent, and then hustle and close that door. And he's tied up in there. I close this door as quickly as I can. I'll sneak in there later before I even leave. And, after I turn this camera off, I sneak up in there and I retie him. And because he's been tied, I will tie him in the trailer. But with stuff that hasn't been tied, oh, look, there's my knight in shining armor pulling up right now. Here's a little footage of when I was at the vet. So we sedated him, and he was down, and he'd been castrated already. So you'll see a little bit of blood in this. It's no big deal. He's already been castrated. This is a typical amount of blood that you'll see after they've been castrated. But I have not been able to handle this colt's feet. If you guys have watched the evolution of this horse, I haven't been able to trim his feet. So I figured I'm going to get it done while he's sedated and on the ground. And one of the techs that were there was helping me with this, and I just cranked it out, did the quick and dirty on the foot job, knocked the long stuff off, didn't even bother with rasping it, but I just took the long stuff off and balanced him up as good as I could and went with that. So this is what you got to do to get these horses going. So I hope you guys learned a little something from this. This is how I get it done here in South Dakota. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I sure appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.